Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Good Intentions with Lisa-Tien. That is me. This is the first time my hair has been up in a top knot in quite a while, but also like without bangs. Well, who is she? Today is a beautiful, beautiful day. I think it's in the 60s right now. There is nothing more amazing to me than the sun. I just absolutely love the sun. The water. Definitely would love to live near the water at some point one day. But it is just a beautiful fucking Tuesday. Okay, popping off. Yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm recording another episode. I have not even finished editing my last episode because the goal is to post it Monday night so it's ready to listen to or watch by Tuesday, but I've been having a lot of technical difficulties with uploading the video sometimes, so I'm just procrastinating this week, and you know what? It's fine. This last weekend, amazing. 2 whole days off, like, wow, I love it. Your days off are just so important, I feel like. Like, it's nice to have a day to do absolutely nothing and then a day to do absolutely everything, because that's just how I am, ADHD. Like, you know, during the week I might do a little bit of whatever, but I like to go hard and then go home. Yeah, it was amazing. So I finally got to hang out with Justin. It's been a hot ass minute. We have not seen each other in months, I think, like months. Time I saw him was before Christmas or something like that, maybe. But it was nice to see him. We went out for some Korean barbecue in Carrollton at Bro's Korean Barbecue. And they have Korean barbecue, hot pot, or sushi. We did the barbecue and sushi. I probably would have been fine without sushi. Like, I just love meat. I love meat. And, of course, since we were going to be binge eating, we had to smirk and eat an edible, so we did that, and that was just even more amazing. And then we went to H Mart and bought a few things. I definitely bought like way too many stuff at the bakery they have, To Unstuck or whatever, like yeah. I've gotten food from there like a few times, but when we were in Vietnam, the condo that we were at, the building was right across the street from a To Unstuck, and the bakery is just fucking. I love bread. Love bread. Love bread. I think I got a custard bread, and then I got cheese bread, which I didn't really like that much. It was, I don't know, kind of like cheesecake, but bread. And then I got 2 strawberry croissants. One was like an actual croissant cut in half with strawberries and like whipped cream. The whipped cream is just out of this world. Like, what do they make it out of? So good. And the other croissant was, I don't really know what to call it, but I'm just going to call it a croissant. And it was cut like vertically on top. And so it kind of opened a little bit, and there was custard in the middle with some whipped cream in the middle and strawberries. It was so fucking good. So I ate quite a bit Sunday and Monday. But I got things done on Monday, so, you know, that's fine. That's fine. Now we're ready. We are so ready. I also bought... Sorry, I keep moving around this mic. I'm trying to get comfortable. I also have been looking at, his name is, I think the program's called Booty by Jax. I really want to grow my glutes. Like, this has been a goal of mine, and I haven't really been doing much to grow them necessarily. So I figured I would just buy a program. So I did. I'm really excited. I never track my calories. So you can use a macro calculator, and it will ask you your height, weight, how active you are, and if you're looking to lose weight, maintain, or gain, and it will give you your macros, the calories that you need to eat, number of calories, and then, yeah, your protein, carbs, and fats, and stuff like that. So anyway, I've never tracked what I ate if I'm not dieting. So like when I'm cutting, it's about between 16 to 1800 calories. Whenever I put in all of my information, told him my goals, I looked at the meal plan and the calorie intake was like 2300. And I was like, oh my God, that's like a lot. And that's a lot. But you know, I'm going to stay, maintenance is around like 2000. So I'm scared to go from 16 to 1800 calories to 2300. And I should probably trust the process, but I'm just going to do maintenance calories and then just hit my protein, and we'll see what we're looking like. I'm doing it for 8 weeks and I'll bump up the calories from there because I don't want to gain a lot of weight in the 8 weeks. Because when you are in a surplus, you are going to gain muscle and you're going to gain fat. So I really want to gain is the goal. And I know a lot of people say you can't do both. You can't lose weight and gain muscle. You can to an extent, but if you're trying to like grow, yeah, you have to eat in a surplus. But I mean, 2000 calories is a surplus for me anyway. So I don't want to go on a huge tangent when it comes to fitness. So anyway, yeah, had Korean barbecue, ate so fucking much H Mart snacks. I really needed that. Those 2 days were absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel bad. I'm glad that it is out of my system. It is out of the way. I've been doing a little bit more cardio. So with this program, we're lifting. The workout itself is really simple. It's so lower body days, mostly glute. It's glute focused. It's like 4 glute exercises and then 2 abs and then cardio. And then upper body is, like 4 upper body movements, push, pull, 2 abs and cardio. So I'm really excited because I am going to be completely honest. I definitely skip abs like every day. There's not a single day that I do abs ever. Unless I'm like, bitch, okay, it's time to do abs. But like, yeah, the last 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, I don't even fucking know. Well, okay, I haven't been doing abs because the machines, I was just about to make an excuse. I haven't done abs really since the boobs. And haven't really wanted to, haven't really cared to, but you notice such a huge difference when you do in like your core, and not just the abs, but like your back, like the whole entire core. So I'm very excited. I think whenever I first saw the program, I was like, what is this? Like, it's so little exercises and whatever, but you know what? It's something different and for it. So I'm excited. I've been feeling really good doing cardio. So the thing is, if you're doing cardio, I like to do low intensity, steady state cardio where you can like breathe and have a conversation. And I like to do it if I'm short on time, I'll do 30 minutes, which I would rather do 45 to an hour. But yeah, been feeling good. And one of the girls at work today mentioned the vape that I gave her, and like, I didn't even want to hit it. Like, hello, who are we? Oh my gosh. I feel like this last weekend, yes, much needed. So good to see Justy. I love him. I love him so much. So today I want to talk about being stuck. I can't quite remember if I already have an episode about that, but I'm inspired to talk about it because of one of my friends. And if you're watching this or listening to it, then probably already listened to my last episode, which was about how to change. And I think I'm still editing that video, but I'm pretty sure in that video, I am talking about changing, more so like changing your habits. You know, if you want to work out, if you want to quit something, changing in that sense, but changing your life as well. It's hard. And it was very hard for me to leave my ex-boyfriend, right? He was my best friend. Like, to this day, I am so grateful for that relationship and that love, you know, like we definitely had work to do and had healing to do if we wanted that relationship to work, it would definitely take effort for sure. But for me to decide that I want to be a priority, I don't need to be number one, need to be in the top three, have to be in the top three. If I'm not, I don't love that, like I remember at that time, I don't need a lot. I just wanted 1 day a week with him and I couldn't get it. But at the same time, I was in my own feelings. But for me to decide this is not a life that I want, sure, there was fear because my ex-boyfriend supported me through cosmetology school. He paid for everything. And when we had moved to downtown Dallas, I was supposed to help with rent. I think our rent was $2,000 a month for the apartment, the high rise that we were in. And I was supposed to help like $500. But I instead just bought like the couch and the furniture and some of the things like rugs and stuff as the payment for the first whatever. But I remember thinking to myself, like, I will work 2 jobs. And I did work 2 jobs, like I just remember how it felt when we first met. And for the year after that, when we were able to communicate and we were on the same page, and when we were no longer on the same page, there was no communication because he didn't want to talk, like it was hard for him to face that. So how do you move forward and progress in a relationship if you cannot communicate? You can't. You literally cannot. You can't. You have to be able to talk. It was very difficult, obviously, to leave my ex-husband. That was difficult within itself because he didn't want me to go, but also, he's just a completely different animal. The manipulation, the gaslighting, all of that stuff, all of it to keep you. But when it came down to making that choice, like I made that choice several times within the relationship with him, it was hard for you to choose yourself, for you to say, I don't want this life anymore. I want to move forward. I want to move on. You're going to have a lot of fear. You're going to feel afraid that you're making the wrong decision. You're going to feel afraid of being alone, afraid of what if they're right, afraid of what if this is the best it's going to get for me, afraid of making a mistake, afraid that what if you do leave and you're still unhappy? There are a lot of things to be afraid of. Fear, the fear that you feel is your subconscious is trying to keep you safe. That's why you don't want to move forward. You don't want to leave a relationship or a job or whatever because you are comfortable where you're at. However, you're not happy where you're at. And this is for people who feel stuck, who feel like they want something else, but they're afraid to do anything about it because the fear is valid, being afraid. But you have to be brave. It takes courage and strength to uproot your whole life and to completely change it, or to leave a person that does care, or maybe they are abusive or whatever. It doesn't really matter necessarily the partner or the situation. It's just the fact is it's going to be hard and you are going to feel scared because it's something different. It's something new. You haven't done this before and you've been living a certain way with this person or at this job or whatever for an X amount of time. So the fear that you feel completely valid, but the fear that you feel, I'm not going to tell anyone that they're wrong. But I don't think that fear is real because it's just trying to protect you. And you can see that and be aware that like what you're feeling is just a reaction of wanting you to be comfortable where you're at. But if you are not happy where you are at and you are making the choice to stay, two things can happen, right? You're gonna have to just accept that that is your life. If you can't muster up the strength to leave someone or to change your life or to leave a job, whatever, you have to accept that that is your life. You have to accept that you made this choice to be with this person or to stay in this environment. And you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be as happy as you can be if you leave or change. But when you choose to stay, if you can't find the acceptance or at least the gratitude for the little that you do have in this situation, right? Because you can always find something to be grateful for. And that is how you can change how you feel if you do choose to stay. If it's an abusive relationship, please do not stay. Right? If you choose to stay, you have to accept you chose this person. You chose this life. Could you be happier? Yes. But you have to try to find things to be grateful for in that situation. Find something that you love, something that you have passion for, and try to be present in that. Like, work on yourself in that and how to fulfill your own self in that relationship or environment or whatever, because you truly are all you have. You're the only person that you can control. You're the only person that you can change. So if you can't and don't want or are afraid of changing your environment, you have to change yourself and your mindset and your perception of how you view the environment that you're in. That is the more positive choice if you choose to stay in that environment. The thing that you cannot do, and this is the thing that I will say a lot of people will do, is they're unhappy and they complain that they're unhappy. They complain about their partner. They don't do this, they don't do that, blah, blah, blah. You escape by having an affair, by going out, by trying to live a different life or whatever every other weekend. You're escaping. That doesn't last long. You might feel excitement and happiness and distraction for a couple hours, for a weekend. But that high that you're getting when you are going out and you're partying and, oh my God, I'm having so much fun, it wears off. On top of when you're drinking alcohol, alcohol affects your brain. When you have a drink, an alcoholic beverage, one, and again, don't quote me on this. I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist. I've just heard this on Andrew Huberman's podcast, and I don't even quite remember exactly how it affects your brain, but it raises your stress levels, right? So let's just say like you're on a baseline and the baseline is just linear, right? You drink alcohol, it peaks a little bit. And it only peaks for a little bit and then it goes back down. And when it goes back down, it goes below baseline. So that's why after one drink you feel good, but after a little bit, like you don't feel as good. And that's why a lot of us will have a second drink, third drink, fourth drink, because we're continuously like trying to chase this peak. So it'll go up and down and up and down and up and down, right? And so then whenever you're recovering throughout the weekend or however long it does take, like it is going to plummet the quote unquote baseline, and you are going to feel lower than you normally would before that drink anyway. Oh, also I did not show off my nails in that last video. We're on cinematic, so okay. The skin is a little crusty, dusty, but Tina popped off. I'm so obsessed. This one's my favorite, the pinky. Ooh, if I can do it. Stunning. Yeah, okay. Anyway, yes. So drinking alcohol on top of that, you plummet below baseline. And what happens during that time is you get anxiety, you get a little bit of irritable, you feel depressed because you are lower than baseline. Whatever it is, I don't remember exactly what he says, if it is your cortisol levels or whatever, but that is what alcohol does to your body and your brain. Like, it's just not that great for you. And summertime will be a different situation. Like, I haven't really drank much this year at all. I drank whenever I went to go see Loud Luxury, and pretty sure that was it. I'm pretty sure that's the only time this year so far that I've had alcohol. And like, it was fun. I wish I didn't. I drank less than I normally would, but it's still more than I wanted to. And I want to get to a place where like I just don't drink. Like, I feel like it would be really difficult, especially if it's brunch, maybe once in a while, like that would be fun. But if it's just something casual, like I really just don't want to, because it affects my skin, it affects my mood, it affects everything, recovery, muscle growth, all of it. So anyway, yeah, when you are trying to escape your life, all of it catches up with you in the end, like that feeling that you have. It's like, I'm going to just use myself as an example. It's just like this feeling of despair. It's this feeling of whenever my ex and I, ex-husband, when our arguments would escalate, like the reaction that I would have after it has escalated so much and we're arguing for like 3 days in a row or whatever. I remember there were some times when I would just sit on the floor and like cradle. It's almost like the fetal position, but I'm sitting and I'm like cradling my legs and I'm like rocking back and forth. Or I just have like my head in my hand, or I start to like not pull on my hair, but just like squeeze on my head. Like, 'cause I just kind of like a kid. I'm trying to calm myself, my nervous system down. I am trying to comfort myself in some kind of physical way because nothing else is making sense. Like I remember just feeling, and I was so trapped. And when it gets to that point, you're living in fight or flight. You're living as if you are a child in your grown adult body because you can't see, you can't. Like when I was in those episodes, knowing that this relationship is not what I want at all, knowing very well that I am unhappy, knowing very well that there is something off and something terribly wrong within this relationship, feeling confused that one day he is all lovey-dovey and blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, like everything I'm doing is wrong, right? Like knowing that I did not want to come home from work sometimes, a lot of the times, like I would get this anxiety pit in my stomach because I didn't want to have to do it again. Because if our arguments were unresolved, then I know that when I come home from work, it is just going to be right back where we left off. A lot of blaming, a lot of whatever, deflecting, and it wouldn't end unless I said what he wanted me to say or admit that I did something wrong or said something wrong or validate his feelings and he was right and blah, 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 right? So like knowing all of that, knowing that I had this thought in my head of what if I just drive my car into the wall? What if I just get out of bed right now and go into the kitchen and slit my wrists and he can watch me bleed? Like those thoughts. Knowing all of that and feeling all of that, and yet me leaving, like in my head, that just was not an option. And it wasn't because I didn't want to leave. I just genuinely felt like I could not leave. So I get that. If you are in a relationship or whatever situation where you know it's not good for you, you know you're unhappy, and you know that you want a different life, but there is just this thing that is, I don't know, you just feel so helpless. Like, you know that you could have another life, right? But like your brain has not made that connection. It can't, literally 2 + 2 = 4. And it can't come up with that answer. It is simply so simple. The answer is like so simple, and the answers are right there, and anyone else can tell you the answer. But for you, 2 + 2, it's not that simple. But it's because we're in our heads. We're in our head. We are, and it's not just even our head. It's like we're within our own body, and our body isn't being regulated. Our nervous system is not regulated. We are in fight or flight. We are not present in the moment. We are hiding within ourselves. Oh, what if, like a little kid. And I don't mean that in a way where I'm trying to put anyone down, because that is what it is, right? If these things that I'm talking about that people struggle with, it all stems from your childhood wounds. All of it. It's not, I mean, it can be big trauma, big T trauma and stuff like that, but it generally is how your parents were, how they communicated with you, or lack of communication. And if they were stressed, you can feel their stress. If they argued all the time and you avoid, that just, I talked about this in the last episode. It's just like everything that we learned as a kid to comfort ourselves or be there for ourselves, right? It follows us into adulthood, and it's so normal. It's just something that we've done our whole entire lives, escaping, avoiding, trying to control things to make us feel safe. But they're all like, they're not healthy coping mechanisms, is what I'm trying to get at. So it's kind of like you're putting yourself in a closet, right? You're getting scared, so you go and hide in the closet. But there's nothing there. There's no home invasion, right? There's no one in the house. You're not in danger. It's all in your head. So maybe you heard something or blah, 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 and you run into the closet, you lock that door, you hold that door. You're like, oh my God, I can't leave this door. What's going to happen if I leave? What's going to happen if I walk out? Oh my God, am I going to get attacked? Oh my God, like this, that, or whatever. It's all in our head. And I will reiterate this part when I say it's all in your head. I'm not saying you're making all of this up. It's all in your head, as in you are in your head about it, as in you are overthinking. You are causing all of this like tornado in your head, and everything's just flying around, and it's so messy. And because everything's so chaotic in your head, you don't know what 2 + 2 =. You can't see that the answer to your problem is right there. If you're not happy in a relationship, in a job, in your life, you have the power to change it. You can make a choice to leave or to accept. There just has to be acceptance, actually, either way, because you can leave and you might still be in fight or flight, right? You haven't processed whatever it is that you needed to process, like why you are the way that you are, why you're reacting the way that you are, right? And even when you make that choice, you can still feel like it's the wrong choice. You're not happy, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people are just not aware that like you can be happy. You can make a choice to be happy with yourself, with who you are, with the life that you have. And if you are not, you have the free will to make the changes necessary to love yourself, to be proud of yourself, to be happy with where you are in life. You are the creator of your life. You are not the victim of your life. And the only way I feel like to get that answer is to be aware of yourself. And that's really hard to do without therapy, without self-awareness, like I'll tell you what. One thing this year that I want to do more of is if ever someone is like venting, of course I will listen, but I don't want to be an enabler. That makes sense. Like we have this girl group chat, and I'll just use my situations as an example. Is whenever I was talking to sweet baby Angel, and everything, the meet cute was perfect. The timing was not perfect. Now that I reflect back on that, like literally when I met him, I was still living with my husband at the time. And when we went on our date, I moved out, but I wasn't even divorced yet. Like in my head, I was like, it's perfect timing. No, the timing was perfect in a sense to where everything happened the way that it needed to happen for me to wake the fuck up. However, I was in no way, shape, or form ready to date. And I am in no way, shape, or form ready to date even now. I want to be undoubtedly secure in who I am, not fucking have a trauma bond, right? That's the one thing that I'm working on right now is like, sure, awareness is there, awareness of my triggers, awareness of my behaviors and stuff like that, right? But side piece, if I don't hear from him over the weekend, and it's so crazy because we're not dating, we're not talking, he literally sends me dick pics, but it's just like this trauma bond because he shared a little bit of his childhood, and then we had really great sex. He wasn't the first one. He was the second person I hooked up with after my ex-husband. And the first person was sweet baby Angel, but we were really drunk and it was just drunk and sloppy. I had fun. If you're listening, I had fun, but it wasn't, to the fullest potential of what it could have been. Like I wasn't there. And he wasn't there. But with side piece, the first time we hooked up was just mind blowing to me. And it's like I just like cling on to that. And it's a feeling that I'm chasing, right? So because he sends me his dick pics and we might, talk a little bit throughout the day. He might ask me, what are you doing? How are you? Blah, blah, blah. It's just like, nothing's ever going to happen. And I know that. And I don't want anything to happen. Like, I don't know him. He's a stranger. But the fact that I allow him to control how I feel, I don't like that. I do not like that. And the fact that I still can't just delete him because he hasn't really done anything wrong, aside from blowing me off a lot. LOL. Like, I had to delete, turn off my notifications, and then I just delete the app off my phone so I'm not checking it, because I will check it. It's almost like an addiction. It is an addiction. It is an addiction. It's like you're addicted to these highs and lows, or to this whatever. And last night I was talking to Justin about it, and I'm like, I'm obsessed with the fact that he's not obsessed with me. Toxic. So yeah, no, I am not ready to date. But I'm excited. I'm getting close to fully detaching. I'm not triggered. I'm not wanting to reach for the vape or anything like that. So I'm well on my way. I think me purchasing this program was the right move, because now I have something to focus on. Something else to focus on, actually, genuinely, real goals in real time. Anyway, tangent. I think a lot of us aren't aware that we kind of just put ourselves in this box that this is how life is, and I'm not going to be happy unless I'm achieving this and I'm achieving that, and I get married and I have this and I have that. And it's just we're all working too hard to get to the next steps of, it's we're endlessly chasing something so we can finally feel that happiness. A lot of what Joe Dispenza says in his meditations is a lot of people wait for the thing to finally be happy. But it doesn't last long. You get the thing, you're happy because it's novel, and then after a couple weeks, you're empty again. It's because we are using external things to validate us or to make us feel some type of way. We're always looking outwards. What we need to be doing is looking inward, looking inside, being present with ourselves, being still with ourselves. A lot of people want a relationship, but they aren't even aware of who they are. How are you supposed to be in a relationship if you don't know who you are? A lot of people think they know who they are, but they really don't. You have to know who you are, why you react the way that you do. I don't know if it's important to understand or know where all of it necessarily is stemming from. Just being aware that it's something that you do so that you can change. Because if you aren't aware of how you react and you aren't aware of yourself or how you show up in stress, okay, throw yourself into a relationship, there's stress there. There's going to be stress, your stress, and their stress. And if you can't handle or manage your own stress on your own, being with someone else with their life and their stress and whatever their traumas are, unhealed, unresolved, or whatever, or communication issues, defensiveness, I want to say that is probably a lot of people's relationships is just toxic. And not toxic in an abusive way, but toxic in they did something. So now you're reacting. And so then they're reacting to you reacting. And it's just this cycle when really the thing that they did, is it really that big of a deal? Whatever it is that they did. Why are you taking it personally? Are they doing whatever that they're doing on purpose to piss you off? Or are you just choosing to react because you don't know how to calm yourself down or calm down your nervous system? So now they do something that they didn't even think about, and you're taking it personally. And because you don't know how to regulate your own nervous system that you react in an unregulated way. So an example of that is my boyfriend left a cup on the counter and I had a really bad day and blah, blah, blah. And now I see this cup on the counter and I'm pretty sure I told him to put the cup in the dishwasher at some point and it's still there. He doesn't listen to me, doesn't love me, doesn't care about me. And my nervous system is all irregulated, but it's firing and wiring. Oh my God. How could you leave the cup on the counter? I thought I asked you, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, whoa. And then he's reacting to you reacting, or maybe he can be a decent partner and just not take whatever you're doing or saying as a personal attack. But that's just what I'm saying is like a lot of people are so desperate to have a relationship, but aren't aware of their stressors and all of that stuff. So whenever you fall into a relationship, like things aren't going to just magically be amazing. Of course, you would hope that you put in enough work in yourself to where you know how to communicate and and are aware of how you're feeling in your mind and in your body to be able to have a healthy conversation with your partner. It's very important to know who you are, to understand yourself and your triggers. Because the thing is, when you're feeling stuck, right, and you want to change and you want to leave your relationship and this, that, or whatever, okay, and you finally leave your relationship. You did it. You mustered up the courage to go. See ya. If you don't take the time to process and to heal yourself, just in general, like asking yourself, how did I end up with this person? How did I end up with this person for so long? What was it that kept me there? Blah, 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 right? You are going to cling on to the next person. And it's probably going to be the same cycle because we attract what we are, right? We attract people into our lives that are on the same trauma, that have the same trauma wounds as us. And until we put in the work to heal the trauma wounds that we have, the childhood wounds, we will continue to attract the same kind of partners. They'll be different. They might have different kind of wounds. Well, they might be different in a sense of, maybe they're avoidant or maybe they're more anxious or maybe they're more controlling or that, whatever. But it all is kind of like just similar attachment wounds, childhood wounds, all the things. So the struggle that you're feeling in this moment, I completely understand. I absolutely understand the feeling of being stuck or that you're suffocating or that you're drowning, because that's what it feels like when you are where you're not supposed to be. And that might sound a little wishy-washy because I say that we are exactly where we need to be. But if you're stuck somewhere, it's true, you need to be there. And I don't mean you need to be there as in you need to stay. You are in that situation for a reason, to learn from it. So what is it that you are needing to learn? What is it that the universe is trying to teach you? Because it is trying to teach you something within yourself. And until you get it, until you learn, you will repeat the same cycle. The next one, and the next one, and the next one. And you might hate men or hate women or think that the opposite sex is a certain way. Oh, they're crazy. They're this or they're that. When really it's you. I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm saying we choose our partners. We choose the environment that we stay in. You can't blame other people because we have free will. Yeah, other people will say or do whatever that they want. They are free to do that. But how we react and what we choose to do, that says a lot about us. So if you are unhappy, if you feel stuck, I feel for you. But you are the creator of your life, not the victim of your life. And you have the power. You are strong. You are resilient. It's okay to be afraid. But the difference between being afraid and being brave, you can still be brave and be afraid, right? What makes you brave is the fact that you are afraid and you're doing it anyway. So be brave as fuck. Be courageous. You can do it. I believe in you. You should definitely believe in yourself. You are, and I say this with every ounce of my soul, I truly believe that you are the creator of your life, not the victim of your life. You can do, have, and be anything that you want to be or have. You just have to take action, and you have to be aware of yourself, of your thoughts, of your behaviors, of your reactions, of how you feel, of what you think, of what you say, of what you believe. Because the thing is, a lot of people will say that they want something, but what they think or how they feel contradicts that. But they aren't aware because they're still asleep. You have to wake up. You have to face your fears. You have to take a look within yourself. And I know that is so scary to do. A lot of us don't want to take a look within ourselves because maybe we are empty. Maybe we are broken. Maybe it feels that way. But for you to be able to fix something, you have to know what the issue is. Otherwise, you'll just put a Band-Aid over the situation and you keep bleeding through because you're putting a Band-Aid over something when you actually need stitches or some shit. Like, we all can be happy. We all can live a fulfilling life. No, the path that we are on is not set in stone. We have the power to change. You have to want to change. You have to want to be happy, and you have to believe that you can be happy. And I want that for you. So if you're stuck, unstuck yourself. 2 + 2 = 4. It really is that simple. Everything that you're feeling, all of that fear, useless. It is useless. It's just trying to protect you. And that's fair, right? But it'll keep you stuck. It will keep you stuck exactly where you are. And if you're unhappy now, imagine yourself 10 years from now. Don't deprive yourself of a happy life. You're not stuck. You are not a victim. You got it. You can do it. I believe in you. I think I'm going to wrap it up right here. Thank you guys for listening. Love y'all. Bye.